Hi students, this is Ms. Vanden Bosch, and today we're going to look at how we can use the Explora function in the Alabama Virtual Library. And this is how I want you to get into the habit of doing research for my class. No more Google searches and just kind of rolling the dice to see what you come up with. So we want you to log into the Alabama Virtual Library. We're going to click on the middle school resources, and you already know how to do that because we've gone to Britannica. But now we're going to click on Explora Middle Schools. And when we come to this is going to be, the first thing you'll see is like a feature carousel, and they change this from time to time. They just give you different things that are timely discussions, things of interest. So when I tell you in class that you have some free time and you need to do some reading, this would be a great place to go. But in terms of a research project, if you already know what we're going to be researching, you've got a couple of options. You can go up to the search bar and you can enter your search there. Or, in our case, we know that one of our first things that we're going to look at is current issues, okay, for our current events. So we're going to click on this one, and we're going to hit the More button. And some of you have expressed interest in the cyber terrorism and hacking that's been going on. So let's just see what kind of resources we get when we click on that. So cyber terrorism. What's going to happen is all of the search results are going to come up. The very first one that you can look at is a topical overview, and this will help you kind of get an idea of what is cyber terrorism and kind of an overview of that entire topic. At times, there might be some links to some other things in that article, but that's always a good place to start when you're first looking at a particular topic that you may not know as much about. In this case, let's make our search a little bit more specific because you've expressed interest in knowing how the Russians may have been involved with cyber terrorism recently. So let's see what happens when we put cyber terrorism in Russia in our search bar. And then what happens is that's going to include any articles or resources that have cyber terrorism and Russia, and you can see that that changes what we get here. In fact, if you look over here at the left, there's other ways to refine our search, and we're very interested in seeing what's recently been put out there. So let's change our publication date. You see how I'm changing that over here? And let's just do from 2016 to 2017, and you can see it refreshed our resource list. And now we can kind of look through this list, and maybe we want to even say, hey, we want to talk about the election. So let's go back and add that word, and it's going to find any resources that have the word elections in it. We're going to hit search, and lo and behold, one of the first things that comes up is a periodical, Time magazine, and this was a cover story, Hacking the Voter. So let's look at how this article, it says it discusses computer hacking and American voters in relation to the Russian government's attempt to influence the 2016 U.S. presidential election. It does have a PDF full text, so we can click on that. It will actually pull it up. It will give you the Adobe toolbar so that you can save it to your computer. You can print it. But in this case, we just want to kind of view it and see if that's something that might work for us with our research. And if it is, then we can add this to our folder. One of the things that I'm going to encourage you to do is to have an account through Explora. So I'm going to sign in. I've already created my account, but in your case, you would create an account. I'm going to sign in with my login. And now that I'm logged in, I can add this to my folder. And it may be off your screen just a little bit, but there's the icon, and it says Add to Folder. Now this entire record, this entire article is going to be showing up in my folder. And if you look up here, you can see that it has been added. Let's go back to Folder. And you can see that in my folder, I now have Hacking the Voter. I can save this to read for later. I can email it, I can print it, I can export it, but at any rate, there's my information. I can click on it again, and what I really like about this is it helps you cite your resources, and we know that we need to learn how to do that, boys and girls. So let's click on the Cite button, and you can see that it gives you different types of citation systems, the APA, we've got the Chicago, the Harvard, you'll see MLA. And so this is a great way for you to get into the habit of citing your resources as you do research. I want to see how you do on this, and we'll continue to give you further directions on how to enhance your researches or your research searches. And I look forward to seeing what you can do.